today we're on John Ryan's farm here near Dundrum. Am I right to say yes, Dundrum, lads?
Dundrum, yeah.
In Tipperary with Kieran, his son, and his other son Brendan isn't here today. But the two lads are studying off farm, and John made a decision about 2 years ago. He was thinking about getting out completely, but he's hung on, and the lads are interested in continuing the dairy farming tradition on this farm. So there's been a drive to change the cow type, use the information and technology that they have to make their lives easier, get better functional cows on the farm, get the system working better. So we're choosing this farm just to follow through their breeding season, see how information works, see how it applies, see how technology works for them as well, and see if they're hitting their breeding goals and their ambitions in terms of getting higher EBI stock on the farm. So over the next couple of weeks, maybe next 2 months, we're going to follow this herd and see the decisions that they make on a day-to-day basis to influence their breeding. John, you might give me a little bit of background. Where were you 2 or 3 years ago in your head? Where do you think you're going with the lads now, and what's happening on the farm?
2 years ago, I was looking at retiring. Due to health, I just couldn't keep it going because I had back issues. And we looked into various different scenarios, and they just weren't providing what we wanted. They weren't panning out. And then we sat down and we had a chat about it, and we talked to a few people. And then the lads, they're both doing egg science, and they said, right, well, what do we do if you get out of the cows, they're not coming back. That's the reality, because it just doesn't happen. So we said, right, no, the lads said they wanted to farm part-time. So from that point in, everything was geared at making things better. I suppose you turn around, you do a full 360, and you say, right, well, we're going a different direction. And you gear things for part-time, which is maybe reduce your numbers slightly and make sure everything is better, reduce your workload, and work from there. And I mean, we did a bit of building last year just to make sure for slurry storage, to make sure, because that's, going forward. And also, I suppose, with slurry back along, we've been disposing of it as opposed to utilising it.
Okay, so you're in a changed environment,
yes.
So we got to utilise our slurry better.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I'm hearing from you is part of that was really changing out your cow type to a more functional type of cow.
Maybe not so much, but just not keeping the cow for the sake of the cow number.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like cell count and feed, and maybe others. We kind of got a decision now where we have I suppose 4 criteria that we call them on.
Yeah.
Age, cell count, feed, others.
Okay.
As I said before, like the 3-titted cow we've some 3-titted cows in great milk. So that's probably the lower one. If she's a young cow and she has 3 tits and she's producing when she stays.
Yeah, and she's got the solids constituents. Yeah. Okay.
And from there, like you just go, and I mean, we can't see the future, so we don't know. You just go with the best you can and not be too melodramatic about what's coming down the tracks, and do the basics.
Okay.
Look, it's the same as playing a game of rugby. If you do the basics right, everything else comes in around.
I feel there's going to be a lot of rugby analogies by the time we're finished, and whether we're going to show up in the pitch or not, and all this kind of stuff. The psychology is strong.
Yeah, same principle.
The one thing I'm interested in, though, and even from chatting with Kieran before, you're using farm ops, you're using the milk recording, you're using a lot of information. How has that changed the way you've approached the farm?
Massively. I suppose before we started using them, we were just kind of going off eye and what we thought cows were doing, and we used to be treating cows multiple times in the year for mastitis. But the information we have now is unreal. Like, you can pick out a cow in a matter of minutes. What yield she's doing, what her cell count is. It's so much easier for culling as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So, Kieran, we're here today on your farm. A good few changes happening here, different things going on.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background to the farming system here.
So we're based outside Dundrum in County Tipperary. We're a spring calving herd, grass based. We're running about 60 cows this year with the aim to go to 70. We started with a low EBI herd, and now we're moving up, trying to increase EBI through AI. We started milk recording 3 years ago now, and that's massively helped us with our culling and identifying problem cows.
So when you're talking about you're at a low EBI, where are you on average at the moment?
On average, we're at 115 at the minute. That would have come from a very low EBI nearly minus figures in some cows.
Okay. Okay. And what's the goal? Have you a figure in your head, or are you just saying, okay, I just want this to improve by 10%, or?
Yeah, there's no figure really. It's just improve
Okay.
year on year, maybe by 10%. Yeah.
Okay. And do you see a difference? Are you really looking at the solids part? Is that affecting your milk price? What's driving you here?
Yeah.
You're on
So
this.
milk price, trying to get the best solids out of them.
Okay.
Not going. We're going the conventional 70-30 split, black and whites. Just
Okay.
trying to increase solids for payment and milk check. Yeah.
Okay. So you want a sound black and white animal
Yeah.
producing high solid constituents.
Yeah.
How about health side and so on?
Good health. Kind of low maintenance. Want a strong frame cow.
Mm.
You know, very little management involved with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Suit you and your brother with your rugby career and your and
Hopefully.
possibly maybe working on farm as well. Is that something in your mind?
Yeah, that's the plan. Two of us will farm here
Okay.
at home, and both have jobs.
All right. Okay. You had some cell count issues knocking around in the background.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with that, or where are you looking forward with that one?
So cell count was massive. It was very high 2 years ago.
Mm.
It was around 240 or
Mm.
above even some during the calving season.
Mm. Mm.
We've dealt with it through the milk recording really. So
Mm.
we started 3 years ago, and that's massively helped to cull out cows with high cell count. Millionaire cows really.
Okay. So started milk recording 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So you've been really pulling out cows out of the system.
Yeah.
Low EBI, high cell count, underperforming cows.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
looking to replace them in.
Yeah.
So breeding strategy. We have a lovely bunch of heifers here in front of us that you're starting to breed. What's your breeding policy with these guys now?
Well, these are synchronized, and they're going for sex semen AI. So we put the seeders in them about 5 days ago. Yeah, about that.
Mm.
They're going to be AI tomorrow. So we've used high EBI 70-30 split sex straws in them.
So all sexed here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went sex because of the price of calves this year.
Okay.
Just wasn't running really sustainably on the farm. So
Right.
we went anything we don't want replacements off. We're using beef straws.
Okay. So you have 6 straws going in here.
Yeah.
And there's about, how many heifers have we got
There's
here?
14 there.
14 heifers. A synchronized program.
Yeah.
6 going in. So you have another, probably you need another 14, 15 sex straws
Yeah.
going in as well.
So we're using the first calvers, then we're using AI sex semen on them as well.
Okay. So are they coming in at the moment for you? You've just started breeding, is that
We
right?
started on Saturday, yeah. So they haven't come in yet. We've just used beef straw so far.
Big straws so far.
Yeah.
And that's important, I think, that you're consciously selecting cows for beef, even in the very early part of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a calf earlier to sell, probably
Okay.
get better money there as well.
Okay. So good confidence with sexed.
Yeah.
Moving and doing it. Okay. Hopefully good. Anything on the timing with your AI man at Sext? Are you looking at that, or?
Well, we're just going normally. If they're on heat, we'll ring him in the morning. He only does in the morning, so
Okay.
yeah.
So
With the cows then as well, we got collars installed this year,
okay.
so we're hoping
Okay.
that that'll help our conception rates as well.
Okay. So you're going to get better heat detection. So
Yeah.
we'd probably say with Sext, even if you've got 14, 15 cows lined up for Sext, if they're on fresh that morning, they're not suitable.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually have to abandon the sex straw with them,
Yeah.
and it might be a conventional black and white you might decide
Yeah,
to
exactly.
put into those. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Super. Okay. First week of the breeding season. Have you done any preparation before this to line up the cows? Say, have you any
We tail
pre-breeding work?
painted. Well, first of all, on farm ops, Dad was looking at the cows and he put in heats not served on farm ops. So that will kind of tell us when the cows are going to come back in heat, so we have a fair idea. We tail painted all the cows as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by tail painting beforehand, we know what's due to come.
Yeah.
And you're using the Farm Ops app to tell you, okay, there's so many should be coming in today, so many should be coming
Yeah,
in tomorrow,
exactly.
and so on, in terms of animals not served. And then the next bit in Farm Ops, what we're looking at there is the number of heats expected per day.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I think we're somewhere between 2 and 3 heats you're expecting today.
Yeah.
Are you hitting those numbers?
Yeah, we're hitting 2 to 4.
Okay.
2 to 4, yeah.
2 to 4. So what Farm Ops is telling you, if I understand it right, it's predicting the numbers of animals that should be falling in every single day,
Yeah.
and predicting the number of animals that should fall in within that week
exactly. Yeah,
So we should have probably about 20, 28 or something,
20
I
by
think.
the end of the week. Yeah,
Yeah, by the end of the week. So we know straight away if it's not working,
yeah,
if your
exactly.
system isn't working for you, which is vital.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As we move along with this and we get into our our first 3 weeks is really all about submitting enough cows.
Yeah.
And getting our heat detection right. How about cows that are not coming bulling? Have you a plan for those?
Well, we've an Angus bull we're going to put on the cows that we haven't AI to clean them up.
Okay.
At the end, for cows that aren't cycling, we're just probably going to cull them.
Okay, you're going to cull them out of the system.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the one thing about farm ups as well, when we get to cows calve more than 35 days and not served, even if we look at that at the end of the 3 weeks, we'll have a small body of cows that mightn't have come bulling at all,
Yeah.
and they're eligible to come bulling.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it may pay to treat these cows and
Yes.
have a look.
Yeah.
But in your case, you're
Yeah. Well, if they come with the bull, we'll let the bull do the work. But if they're longer than that, see, we want to compact our calving. So
okay.
we have our milk earlier, so we can hit our peak.
Okay.
We don't want cows calving, end of March. Well, we want them in March, but we don't want them in May.
You don't want them in May.
No,
So
sorry.
how is that going for you at the minute? What was that calving season like already?
So our calving season was about 8 weeks. all
That's
in calving.
short. That's a
Yeah.
short season, yeah?
It was the best we've had yet.
Okay.
I put it down to farm ops. We used farm ops last year as well. So yeah.
And what was the key thing that you were pulling out of farm ops that was helping you tighten it?
I suppose it was telling us the cows that were due to be in heat. We knew how many cows we should have, and we started earlier. We started the season early last year as well.
Okay.
Normally we wouldn't start until about 2 weeks' time maybe. So we starting earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're starting off now in the first week of May.
Yeah.
You're going to AI for how long do you think?
I'd say 6 to 9 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then clean up with a bull?
Yeah, one bull, one Angus
bull.
bull, yeah.
Okay. Farm ops will tell you how many bulls you need.
3 bulls, yeah.
That's it. Well, today it's telling you 3
yeah.
bulls, but as we go on and you have animals
Yeah.
left, but it's really critical that bull is sound and he's
Yeah.
able to do the job for you. Okay. So you have an interesting, you have a good goal here
Yeah.
on here. Like we know where we're going, which is important, and you've put a few systems in place
Yeah.
to actually achieve the goal. So I think you're confident about getting there.
Hopefully, anyway. That's the
Good on
plan.
you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kieran, just on getting heifers ready for sext and and getting them right.
Yeah.
This is an expensive operation. You're synchronizing them. You're putting a good bit of money into each one of these
Yeah.
heifers. What are the key things you want these ladies to be doing right now?
So at breeding, you want them at about 350 kilos for optimal conditions and good conception rates. You want them on a good plane of nutrition as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And these heifers are doing very well. And when we're looking at the expense and the cost of putting sex semen in here on a synchronization program, it's really about matter. Make sure they're cycling, make sure they're up to weight, make sure they're on that rising plane of nutrition,
Yeah.
that they've got everything going for them. And these are a lovely bunch of heifers with high EBI that are coming into the system to drive on your system, right? So it's a good choice. So we're in the first week of our breeding.
Yes.
Farm Ops is going to tell you what's going to happen and what's
Yes.
happening in terms of animals coming in, and we know if we're getting enough valid serves in. Valid serves are serves that are falling into the right window. That means that your heat detection is accurate. If you have too many invalid serves, we're not heat detecting accurately. That'll give you a good idea if your heat detection system is working well. As we get to the end of the first 3 weeks, I think we might touch base again,
Yep.
and we'll just see how that first 3 weeks has gone, what cows we haven't served, and maybe what information that the breeding plan is telling us at that stage.